Good morning, and how y'all doing? Today is gonna be part 3. Let's take this air layer. That's the Cessac. Finishing it up. So around here, the squirrels, they're going crazy. They're harvesting all kind of black walnuts from the trees. Trees are still growing great. We still have some warm weather. We're about to get a few days of thunderstorms, so let's pull her out, take a little look, and do some up potting. So we're gonna start off by getting the tree. Get her and set her up where we had her before and do some reveal. We'll take a look at it, see what the now existing root system looks like. I just have to disconnect my irrigation from her, bring her right over. So we're at the point in the season where it's time. You can see it's already starting to put out a bunch of scaffolds. So again, back to the video. So the 15-gallon, as we talked about, we are going to aggressively up pot this. So I have not inspected this since our last video. It's been an extra week plus. So what we get is what we get. Hey, spider. Had me a cool little jumping spider in there. I love that. And as you can see, look, the roots are just pouring out the sides now. Excuse me. It's early in the morning. I haven't had coffee yet, but that's okay. We're gonna forage forward. Let's get some clippers. I'm gonna go ahead and sterilize those right now. And let this dry off. Let's knock off these. Well, it looks like the root ball, well, the established root system is starting to pop open the pod. So the pod, it's pushing apart. This is one of the larger sized air pods. Again, experimental. Of course, nothing's gonna beat a Ziploc bag. I just always have issues. I wish somebody would drop a comment and say, man, you do. All right, get on it, bull. Somebody would drop a comment and say, man, when you're taking off the bag, when you get to the center part where it's rolled around, I always knock off one of the main or multiple main roots right at that little cusp where it pinches together. Just, I'd love to be able to kind of master that, figure it out where I don't knock off as many. Again, some of them, most of them, the air layers are on smaller branches, but when I'm doing a gargantuan air layer like this, or halving a tree, I want to try and preserve as much as possible. So before I reveal this, let's start putting some dirt in here. I'm just going for it. We're gonna do it. We're just doing it. Let's get the dirt in here and let's get it set up. I have these big old saucers that I got off of the Amazon bots. These things sitting here nicely. All the excess dirt will just kind of pack down at the bottom. And if you watched part 2, and I'll put a link to part 2 when we took a first look at this. This is when I made my soil mixture. So let's fill that up. When I'm doing this, I'm only going to fill this pot halfway. This is a 15-gallon. Massive space here. So I'm going to put maybe about 6-7 inches of soil on the bottom. Let me push this down, give it a good little base. A little firm, you don't want to pack it. So we're not packing the soil. Just establishing a nice little bottom base for it. A very light, airy mix. Okay. Let's reveal it. What we're talking about. And I'll show you that extra little bit of time. And you can see that Mykos that I added on top, water from the top, it filtered down, and it has significantly increased the amount of roots that I have on this all the way around. All right, here's my little node right here at the bottom. This is going to be the top node, so I'm going to try and come up right here and cut right underneath this node, because this is going to start growing roots as well. So this is going to grow roots. This probably will be under the soil line also, so I'll put soil here. So this will grow. So I'll have roots coming from here. The main node that I had scored previously will coming from here, and then the bottom one. Get as much as you can. And as you can see, they have dried off nicely from the sterilization. Don't overthink it. Go straight in, find your level, and cut. I actually broke off no roots from this, so I'm going to take this. See this down here? This looks like it wants to be a node. I'm just going to put a tiny little cut. Let's knock that off. But you can see there's roots wanting to come out of this already from the bottom, so that's going to be another area for root development. We have this one, of course, and then down here, all the way at the bottom. All right, good fiddle farting around. Put her in there. So I'm going to change the angle of the camera here. So I'm going to take our root ball and place it right in the center. And again, I'm going to use Homer's technique. I place it in the center. I'm going to gauge it out perfectly from all sides. You know, I'm looking at right at the end of my wrist. So in a 15-gallon, I know if I'm touching here, wrist is touching here, wrist is here. Here, I'm just gonna dump it, chuck some more dirt into this bucket over here. You know we gotta chuck it in the bucket. There you go. Hit it from the other side. Use the Vibratron technique here, where more dirt in the bucket. And I'm watching to see where this node is right here. Like I said, this dirt will probably come up here, so I'm probably going to be close to 3/4 of the way full, but not all the way up to the top. Get a little bit compression on the sides. So just compress it down a little bit, and that should hold and secure. Before you add too much, so what I do is step back. I make sure that it is equal, it is centered, it is straight up and down, which again, this tree has been growing rapidly. And you can see this sucker is a lot bigger than my thumb here. So, aha, but Chuck, you forgot to put the magic dust around the root ball. That's why we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So you can see the root ball is still right at the surface. And yes, I have added a lot of Mykos to it previously, but I'm still going to add some more. And I have another product I want to show you. Previously, we spoke about the Mykos. We're going to add this around. This is great for nutrient uptake. It helps the roots that are already established there. This is called Azos. So what this is it's good for our rooted cuttings and transplants, and what it does is the beneficial bacteria, which I'm going to line right along the edge of the cutting from the air layer we took. So I'm going to dust this in here. And again, all the instructions in the back, just follow the instructions. There's no crazy amounts that you want to add, a little bit goes a long way. So that being said, I'm going to gently pull back right around the ball of roots that I have in here without damaging any of them. And I'm going to apply a little layer right across the bottom. Put a little bit more here. So I use the small end for the Azos. Right around there. And as we've done before, just gently massage it in right around the root ball. So you're just incorporating it into here, a nice little mix, and then space it out. Now that we have our game changers, and again, you don't need these products. I just use it because I have a little bit shorter growing season up here. So I'm gonna take advantage of everything that I can to make this sucker just go wild. I want it to grow. I want it to establish as many roots as possible before it starts cooling off. Pinch that right there, that's a little. And apply, I believe, the last level. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten it up a little bit. And then press it down. And that's about it. And when I water it down, it will drop, it will settle a little bit more. So, but as you can see, I am a solid, I'm gonna say about 6 to 7 inches from the soil line to the lid. So I still have, you know, a solid amount of soil that I can add to it. If in the beginning of the next growing season, if the roots have spread aggressively throughout, I can always just grab this, pull it straight out. So, and then add more nutrients underneath, and it's going to force those roots to dive deeper. So again, get it set up straight up and down and start kind of pressing it. And when you water it in also, that's when you can get your final setup. Now's the time, if you want to put 2 stakes on each side, the bamboo shoots, you can, to kind of keep it in the center. So I may take a look at that later. Also, this is an exceptional amount of foliage. You know, our canopy is very heavy. So yes, our root ball was probably the size of a, well, I'll show you. This size. So the root ball was this size, right? So that's a decent size amount. But for it to support this amount of foliage, may be a little challenging. So I possibly will be taking off some of the lower branches. And now that this is happening, our side shoots will be encouraged to grow. Fruits, I'm taking those off. So all the little figs that are popping up trying to grow right now, yep, that's going in there. We still have to take care of mama plant here, original mama plant. I'll go in, I'm gonna tap just the top right here. This is a brand new towel, your big old packs that I get from Sam's Club. And I'm gonna put a big old daub of my wound healing property thing. So this is just a little wax. So we're going to protect this. I'm going to cover it up with generous coating. And as you can see, so I have a nice little coating on that. So now I have 2 Cessacs. This one is going to start aggressively growing because it has a very good established root system here. So the tree, again, into the season, I'm not concerned with getting fruit from it. It's going to be in vegetative growth mode. It's like, hey, we've been wounded, we're hurt. We need to produce as much foliage, we need to survive, and it's going to start sending out extra shoots, not just the single one I have here, but possibly from the lower nodes I'll start getting other scaffolding branches. This one, she's going to be in preservation mode. So again, even though I don't take off a lot of the leaves, there's going to be a fair amount of leaves that are going to drop from it, and that's natural, that's normal, that's what's going to happen. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. But now I have this Cessac in a 15-gallon, a massive pot. With that being said, friends, the air layering Cessac is complete. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and water her in with rainwater, and we're gonna keep an eye on her. I'm gonna take this, place it in a shaded area. I do not want it in direct sunlight. That direct sunlight is not going to be the best thing for her at this time. So she's going to be in indirect for about a week. I'm going to see how she handles it, and then slowly start shading her off and getting her close to full sunlight again I can, before the end of the season. Beautiful. So, beginning of the season, I went from one Cessac. This one is the fruit nut Cessac. We already air layered the one that I had from Dan Foster. So now this is the second one. Two big, beautiful plants and twice the production for next year. I love it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Drop them in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer them, or even make a spin-off video if you were interested. So let me know. Until then, friends, have a wonderful day. Big on. Girl, you are thick. Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's bring it to your new little nest. Your little vacation spot over here. Come on. Come on. You're doing great. Need some of that water. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You